Welcome to The Explainer. I am so incredibly thrilled you're hanging out with us today because we have a truly mind-bending journey lined up for you. We're going to be unpacking Osho's deeply radical, completely eye-opening commentary on a very ancient text, the Vigyan Bhairav Tantra. Now, if you think you know what Tantra is, well, prepare to have your perspective totally shifted. We're going to break down these ancient secrets of human consciousness into really structured, digestible pieces.
Okay, let's dive into this. What if you are already exactly what you've been searching for? In our modern world, the word tantra has been, frankly, heavily commercialized. It's mostly misunderstood as just some exotic physical practice. But the source material we're looking at today dismantles that myth completely. It frames tantra instead as a profound psychological wake-up call. It's actually not about doing something new at all. It's about waking up to what is already right there inside you.
Just listen to this paradox from the text. Life is a paradox. To reach near, you have to travel far. Nothing is lost. The source points out this fascinating dilemma. The core problem of human existence isn't that we need to achieve something new or hustle to build a better version of ourselves. The problem is literally just that we're dreaming. We are in a state of deep forgetfulness. It's like you're already in your ultimate divine home, but you've fallen asleep on the couch and you're dreaming of traveling the world. The techniques we're exploring today, they aren't about building a new house. They're just the alarm clock designed to wake you up to your own pure, innocent nature.
So here is our roadmap for today. First, the paradox of seeking. Second, the alchemy of alertness. Third, beyond pure and impure. And fourth, the unchanging center. Let's get right to it.
Section 1. The paradox of seeking. Awakening from the dream.
The human mind is an incredible machine, right? But it constantly desires what is not right here in front of it. Whether you're daydreaming about trekking away to New York or just chronically worrying about tomorrow, this constant wandering is exactly what the text calls being asleep, and it fundamentally changes how we view reality. You see, we often think of samsara, the everyday stressful world of suffering, and nirvana, this liberated state of consciousness, as two completely different physical places or realities. But the text reveals a profound secret. They're just two attitudes. They are not geographical locations. A non-alert state of mind is samsara. That's the world. An alert state of mind is nirvana. You don't have to go anywhere. A simple change of focus, a shift from being asleep to being intensely aware, transforms the very reality you're sitting in right now into absolute bliss.
Section 2. The alchemy of alertness. Everyday awakening.
Now, what's really interesting about this part of the text is how it proves that enlightenment isn't just reserved for monks meditating in Himalayan caves. It takes this highly esoteric philosophy and turns it into a clear, actionable procedure using a ridiculously mundane example. Sneezing. Yeah, a sneeze. A sneeze is totally involuntary, right? You can't force it. The text says that the moment you feel a sneeze coming on, like just at the very start of the tickle, become uninterruptedly aware. Bring your total, absolute consciousness to that physical sensation, and what happens? The sneeze will likely just disappear. The massive bodily energy that was about to be expelled horizontally transforms into a vertical flash of intense alertness. In that sudden flash, where your thinking completely stops, you get a glimpse of pure, thoughtless consciousness. It's like a tiny hack for your brain.
But hey, it's not just sneezing. The text lists all sorts of mundane triggers. Think about the last time you were totally overwhelmed by deep anxiety, or felt the sharp pang of sudden hunger. Ordinarily, we become the feeling. We say, "I am hungry," or "I am anxious." But the text asks you to observe these involuntary moments without judgment. The moment you simply observe your anxiety, saying to yourself, "Anxiety is happening to me, but I am the witness," you prevent identification with it. The source actually tells this great story of a Zen master named Bokyuju. Whenever he felt anxious, he used to literally call out his own name out loud, just to snap his mind back to alert observation. And the moment he did, the anxiety just evaporated.
This brings us to a totally brilliant metaphor. Right now, your mind is basically operating like a bullet cart. The energy moves horizontally. You feel anger, and you either express it outwardly at someone, or you suppress it inwardly, creating a wound. Both of those are just horizontal movements dragging on the ground. But your mind actually has an inbuilt mechanism to be an airplane. By applying passive awareness to your anger or anxiety, you pull that energy upwards into a completely new vertical dimension. The road below might be totally blocked, but in an airplane, the horizontal roadblocks just don't matter anymore. Alertness literally gives your mind wings.
Section 3. Beyond pure and impure. Ending inner conflict.
This is arguably the most provocative part of the text because this is where Tantra completely rejects traditional dualistic morality.
Let's look at the moral or divided approach to life. When you label things as pure or impure, good or bad, you aren't just dividing the outside world into saints and sinners, you are actively dividing yourself. Think about it. If you say anger is inherently bad, and then you feel angry, you suddenly have a devil and a saint fighting a war inside your own mind. It creates endless inner conflict. But then we have the tantric, undivided life. Tantra teaches an undivided, totally non-judgmental observation of facts. A tree is a tree. A thief is a thief. A saint is a saint. There is no evaluation. There's just pure observation. When you stop dividing the world, you stop dividing yourself. And out of that, inner unity emerges naturally.
Consider this next idea as a bit of a cognitive speed bump. The purity of other teachings is an impurity to us. For Tantra, a mind filled with rigid concepts of purity and impurity is the only true impurity, because it destroys your innocence. Now, the text makes it very clear. This isn't about being antisocial or immoral, not at all. It's transcendental. It's about moving beyond the absolute exhaustion of constantly judging ourselves and everyone around us. When you finally stop judging, true, unforced compassion simply flows out of you, completely naturally.
Section 4. The Unchanging Center. Anchoring the Witness.
Okay, so if everything is just observation and we're moving beyond all our judgments, we need to zoom out to find our ultimate anchor inside the hurricane of this constantly changing life. From childhood to youth to old age, our bodies, our minds, our relationships, even external honors, they are all in a rapid, constant state of flux. I mean, even the physical cells in your body completely replace themselves every few years. Your mind changes from morning to evening. Existence is very much like a river, where absolutely nothing remains the same. The text even notes that the mighty Himalayas are actually just a river of stones, constantly growing and shifting over time.
So the crucial point is this: if your body changes and your mind changes, who is it that remembers your childhood? Who is the I that strings all these different changing phases together? The text defines this as the witness. It is the core center of your consciousness. It remains completely static, eternally the same. It simply observes the changing periphery, the changing body, the changing moods, the shifting world, without ever being altered by it. Which leads us to this really profound instruction from the text. Be the unsame same to friend as to stranger, in honor and dishonor. Sounds a bit like a riddle, doesn't it? But it makes perfect sense now. On the periphery, in your external behavior, you will naturally be unsame. You obviously interact with a close friend differently than you interact with a random stranger. But in your core, your inner essence, you can remain uniformly aware, detached and undisturbed. You remain the same. When people honor you or insult you, they are only interacting with your changing periphery, not the true, unchanging witness inside you. And this brilliantly illustrates the absolute climax of this philosophy. Here is the sphere of change, change, change. Through change, consume change. Because you finally know that the core of you cannot be touched by the shifting world, there is absolutely no need to fight it. You don't need to run away to a cave. You can live fully, boldly in the world. You consume the changing world by remaining deeply anchored in your passive, alert center. You watch the storm, but you are the eye of the storm.
To wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a deeply provocative thought drawn directly from the text. Because everyone is constantly changing like a river, your closest friend is, in reality, a stranger who's changing every single second. And that stranger walking down the street, they share the exact same existential root as you. So how would your life change if you looked at your closest friend as a complete stranger, allowing them the total freedom to change, and looked at a complete stranger as your closest friend? Keep that in mind today, observe your world, and see if you can find that unchanging witness within yourself. Thank you so much for joining me on The Explainer, and I will catch you next time.